Yeah, so basically I've had it it's called SVT for short, what I've got. I've had it for quite a long time, since I was 17, but we weren't able to properly diagnose it until last year when I was playing for Sydney. Got to capture some data on my Apple Watch, taking the ECG, and yeah, I had surgery for it about 4 weeks ago now, which is, yeah, it sounds pretty crazy when I tell people I've had heart surgery, but in terms of the procedure, it was quite minor. And yeah, it went really well, and hopefully I won't get the symptoms again, because yeah, they were just pretty annoying. I would have to kind of come off during training or in the game if it happened there. So yeah, fingers crossed it won't happen again. So yeah, I think it was a good decision for me, especially leading up to the World Cup. I would hate for that to play a part in me coming off in one of the games. So yeah.
Yeah, was there anything that when you hear heart, you thought, could be something that ends your career or anything like that? Has it always just been something that you just managed in the background?
Yeah, I mean, it is a scary thought. I've had surgery on my knee and stuff before, but this one was a little bit more scary just because it is your heart. So you do have those thoughts. You're like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? So it was a tough decision for me. But in the end, I'm glad that I did it. And I think, yeah, it will benefit me in the long term. So.
Yeah, because when you had that game against Australia and you had to come off, so what was sort of happening there?
Yeah, so that's when I got the SVT. So basically I get it when I exercise. So it doesn't happen every time. It kind of just pops up randomly, but I kind of just start running, and then my heart rate will just skyrocket and it just start going so fast. And yeah, it's not great to be having that while on top of exercising. So when it does happen, I do have to stop. So that's what you saw in the Australia game. Had to lie down on the field for a little bit, and then it wasn't stopping. So ultimately had to come off and put my health first and make sure that had stopped. But yeah, I've had it a lot in the past, so I wasn't super worried when it happened. I knew how to go about it. But yeah, to people looking on who weren't sure what was going on, it can be kind of scary. So.
So sorry, you said you kind of realised what it was with your Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So how did that, talk me through that day then?
Yeah, so I had seen a cardiologist a couple of weeks before, and she basically recommended that I can get this Apple Watch and it can take ECGs on it. So I was already kind of thinking of getting one anyway, but that just gave me a better excuse to get one. I was like, yeah, for medical reasons now. But yeah, and then it was probably a week later that actually happened in training, and I was able to catch it on my watch, sent that data away to the cardiologist, and that's when they were able to diagnose me with SVT. So that was amazing because I'd had it for so many years and seen so many doctors, and no one really knew what it was, or we couldn't properly confirm what it was. So yeah, that was really good to actually get some clarification on that.
And you said, I guess symptoms, is it heart rate kind of rises? What would happen if, I guess, you weren't aware of the symptoms and you kept playing on? How dangerous did it have potential to be?
Yeah, I was always aware when it happened. It was very obvious for me. I could feel it. It would just, almost like a switch, it would just start going. It was above 200 beats a minute kind of thing. So it was definitely out of my normal heart rate. Before I knew what it was, there was a training session I did, and I was like, oh, I'll just keep going kind of thing. But quickly realized that wasn't too good of a plan. I just got a bit lightheaded and dizzy. You go a bit pale in the face, and that's when I was like, okay, I should probably stop when this happens. And then yeah, I got further guidance from doctors on that. When it does happen, I would have to remove myself, lie down, and just wait for it to stop basically. And then once it had stopped, it was pretty much back to normal, and I could just keep going. But my heart rate was always regular the heartbeat, it wasn't a different heartbeat, it was just really fast basically. So.
And what was the procedure exactly? Did they put something in there, or?
Yeah, it's got an ablation procedure. So basically I was awake during it as well, which is pretty crazy when I tell people that as well. But they go up through your groin and they put wires into your heart, and then they can either burn or freeze these wires that are sending mixed signals, which ultimately makes it go faster. So I got it frozen just because it's a bit less risky. But yeah, so yeah, you're awake during the procedure, and it took about 2 hours in total. And then I had 2 or 3 weeks off before I could return back to playing.
And your Ferns games, I'm guessing, was the first games back since then?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It was good. It was really, really good to get back out there and get moving again. Yeah, I had just started kind of training that week before, so kind of thrown into it all at once. But it was, yeah, great to get out on the field and yeah, trust that everything is healthy and I'm good to go again. So that was important mentally and physically as well. But yeah, I felt good out on the field. Yeah, I got some good minutes as well, so I was happy about that.
And just finally, how pumped are you for Sunday?
Super excited. It's going to be such a big game. The girls are all ready to go, and yeah, it's so nice that we can play at home finally. It was a tough season last year for the girls that I've heard, being based in Australia the entire time. So really nice that we get to play at home. My friends, my family are coming, so can't wait to have them support on the sidelines. So yeah.
Just sorry, with the procedure, did you have to get it done, or was it like you can either choose to or choose to kind of manage it how you had been?
Yeah, so I did get a choice. I didn't have to get it done. It wasn't a life-threatening diagnosis, so I could have kept playing with it, but yeah, it was just more annoying that it could just pop up at any time. Like I said, I would hate for it to kind of come up in the World Cup next year. That's something I've been aiming for my entire life, to be like starting and playing at a home World Cup. So to have something like that rule me out of those games would have been devastating. So I kind of had that in mind when I made the decision. Obviously, there were some risks involved as well, so I had to put them into play too. But I think I'm really happy with the decision I made, and it was a successful surgery, so that's always great as well.